Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started. It's right about 10:30, and I would not like to block traffic for much longer here. But I want to thank everyone for coming out. My understanding, this is one of the larger turnouts we've had for a bridge dedication in Bucks County, and I think that really goes to a testament of Jay's impact on this community and what this actually means for us as residents of Middletown Township and Bucks County. But before I get started in my brief remarks, there are a few individuals here that I would like to recognize and especially thank for arranging this event. Special thanks to Jay's family, both of his parents, and Crystal for being with us here today. There were a lot of other individuals that went into the planning of this event. Jim and Lisa Jenka were a big part of that, so thank you, both of you. Countless others that were a part of this. Ed Preston is somewhere around here. He's been great for the veterans community in Bucks County. But I also want to thank Bucks County Transportation, who's been arranging this, the logistics for us today. Middletown Township Public Works, and the men and women of PennDOT that have helped with us, as well as along with all of the veteran service organizations and the first responders. There's some individuals also in the crowd that we're going to recognize. We have Middletown Township Supervisors Anna Payne, Bernadette Hanna. We also have Matt Allen, the Bucks County Director of Veterans Affairs, have joined us as well, and a few other individuals that will be speaking in a few moments. But before we get started with the program, I just want to give a little bit of the background about how this came to be. Last summer, it was, I believe it was in August, it was a hot day. I was knocking doors, introducing myself to a lot of individuals in the community and just letting them know that I'm their state representative, that we have some services to offer to them. And I was right down the road, and I remember knocking the door, and Mr. Moon came out. And I had grown up in Bucks County. I've been a lifelong resident. My father was very active in the veterans community. I had known about Jay, but I had never met him or you, the family, in person before until I showed up at your door. I went home that day and I said to my wife at the time, you know, there's got to be something that I can do. There's got to be somehow as in this new position that I can honor and memorialize Jay. And then I talked to Senator Frank Ferry. We had the conversation, and together we came up with honoring him by naming a bridge. And I couldn't think of a better one than the one that basically you could see from his home right here. And at that time, my father, a Vietnam vet, Marine Corps, that I think a lot of people in the crowd have met personally, was battling cancer. And I told my father, you know, Dad, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to get this done. You remember Jay. I think you had met the family before. And I introduced a bill in September. It was HB 1711. And it was a simple bill, but, you know, the stars aligned because there was a Senate bill, an omnibus piece of legislation that was moving at the same time. So we had that bill. Kristen Marcel, a state rep, a neighboring state rep, co-sponsored it, so thank you, Kristen. And so did Perry Warren, who's from the Newtown area, co-sponsored the legislation, but we were able to get it into a larger piece of Senate legislation that quickly passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, and it became law on October 23rd, 2023. And that date's important because while I was having conversations with my father and giving him updates on this, he died on October 24th in the early morning hours, the very next day that this became law. This was something he was following, he was interested in as an advocate for veterans himself, and as a combat wounded veteran, he wanted to see this done. So that's a very important story for me. I think a very powerful one that I wanted to share for the first time with all of you today. But we're going to move into the program now. I think there's going to be a lot more people that can speak to the type of man that Jay was, and I think that's his family. And I just want to thank you all again for being out here and memorializing this moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, now if you would please rise, we will be presenting the colors. Please remain standing for the pledge, which will be led by two men who served with Jay and Baker Company, Jeffrey Lover and Shonda Stefano, and then followed immediately by the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be sung by Army veteran Tiffany McKenney. Thank you, guys.
Ready. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So I'm going to introduce our first speaker right now. He's the first Secretary and Counsel of the Korean Consulate in Philadelphia, Bum Jung Cho. Thank you for joining us, sir. Thank you.
I'm very honored and deeply moved to be here. First of all, I want to give my special thanks to State Representative Joe Hogan for proposing a resolution to rename the bridge and preparing this invaluable event. And also, I'm very grateful to have Senator Frank Ferry. Thank you. Jae Moon's service within the community and during his military career made a positive difference in the lives of many. His sacrifice is noble and gives courage to us. Furthermore, resonate with many people around the world. Most importantly, his noble sacrifices are a symbol that inspires others to serve and to protect freedom and democracy. These core values are shared in the Republic of Korea and the United States Alliance. So it is called Values Alliance. This is robust and sustainable and fosters peace and prosperity around the world. As you all know, last year was the 7th anniversary of the ROK-US Alliance and also the 120th anniversary of the Korean immigration to the US. At the center of these strong ties, Korean-American community exists. Korean-American community have greatly contributed to the strengthening the alliance. Jae Moon's life is a mother to all Korean-American community. This bridge represents another means by which the family hopes that the Jae will be remembered in recognition of his service and noble sacrifice to his great country. He is a proud Korean and Korean American to serve the community and the country. The Republic of Korea and the Korean Americans will remember him forever. Thank you.
Congressman Fitzpatrick had planned to be here, but has been kept in Washington for legislative business. So now I'd like to introduce one of his Veterans Affairs advocates, veteran Mac Wagner. Mac.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mac Wagner, and I'm here today to honor Staff Sergeant Jae Moon on behalf of Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick. I want to thank Senator Frank Ferry, along with Representative Joe Hogan and our other legislators, for their efforts in making this a reality. I'd also like to thank First Secretary Cho for his attendance today, and all of our colleagues at PennDOT for their work to make this renaming possible. Most importantly, I thank the Moon family for their presence here today and for their sacrifice. I have attended many bridge dedications here in Bucks County to honor our fallen service members. Today is personally significant for two reasons. The first is that Staff Sergeant Moon is the only Bucks County native to be killed in action during the global war on terror. And the second is that this is the first bridge dedication where the honoree is from the same generation of veterans as myself. If you ask any veteran about a fallen comrade, every single one will have a story. Whether it was from hostile action, dormant diseases, or the all too common mental health struggles, we all hold the memories of our brothers in arms close. These invisible scars fade with time but never go away. And Jay's death on Christmas 2006 is akin to an open wound. His loss is a poignant reminder to the personal cost of the global war on terror, our nation's longest conflict that for many in our district was no more than a segment on the nightly news. The renaming of this bridge ensures that the legacy of Jay's sacrifice is enshrined in the daily life of our community. For myself, the Moons, and many others, we need no reminder of his heroism in our loss. But we must look past our pain to realize that this bridge, much like Jay's memory, is not just for us. This bridge highlights the story of an incredible young man who placed his aspirations on hold to heed the call of duty, who took up arms in the defense of freedom around the world, freedoms we all take for granted when we get caught up in the petty troubles of our privileged lives. Jay's bridge is the humbling reminder to us all the price paid for our continued liberty. May God bless you all, our fallen in the United States of America. At this time, on behalf of Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick, I would like to present Mr. and Mrs. Moon a citation and flag flown over the United States Capitol in honor of their son.
Thank you and good morning. I think Representative Hogan in his opening really encapsulated why we're here today. The Moon family literally lives a few blocks down the road on the left. In selecting this bridge to be dedicated in the memory of Staff Sergeant Moon, it is in close proximity to their house, which I think is very important. And for those that cannot be here today, that may watch this video later or read a media account, I think it's always important as you drive this heavily traveled road that you remember why we're dedicating this bridge to Staff Sergeant Moon. As Mac alluded to, he is the first and only service member from our county, which is a very large county, to have made the ultimate sacrifice in these many decades of war we've been in. And we can't really truly put into words the feeling the Moon family has gone through, or our community has gone through. This is actually the second memorial to Staff Sergeant Moon. I see Jay Bowman's here, who was the superintendent of Neshaminy schools. And I will ask you, if you happen to have the opportunity to visit the Neshaminy High School, if you walk through the locker area just in the main entrance and you look to your left where the stairs are set, there is a memorial to Staff Sergeant Moon. Being a fellow Neshaminy alum and having had the opportunity to be in that school many, many times, I give pause when I walk by there and think of the sacrifice that Staff Sergeant Moon has made. Now today, in a few moments, this bridge will be forever dedicated to that sacrifice. Staff Sergeant Moon joined the military as a means to further serve the country because he desired to have a career in the FBI, and the military was going to pay his way through school. Clearly, through his service in the military and his aspirations to further serve his country in the FBI highlights the core values of that young man, who unfortunately I never had the opportunity to meet, but I know what importance he has been to this community. And today, based on the efforts of State Representative Joe Hogan, he'll be forever remembered right here in Middletown Township. So to the Moon family, thank you. Thank you for providing Jay to serve this country and protect the freedoms that we hold and value every day. And to the men and women in the military, whether you're currently serving or you have served, thank you for the sacrifices you have made. Thank you.
So at this time, I'd like to invite the Moon family up with us for the unveiling, if you could. There are a few things that I think are more worthy of recognition for your son and brother. Your love of Jay continues to shine, and we hope that the Staff Sgt. Jae S. Moon Bridge will be a daily reminder of how grateful we are for your son and brother's service and sacrifice for our nation. Are you ready to unveil? Oh, I'd like to invite a member of the Moon family, Jay's sister, Crystal, to give a few remarks on behalf of the family.
Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Crystal Moon. I am Staff Sergeant Jay Moon's sister. As you all know, he is my brother. Yes, he grew up in America, in this country, for the most of his life, as do my family and I. Jay graduated in Neshaminy High School. And shortly after the graduation, he went to the military service, leaving home from us at a very young age. On Christmas Eve in 2006, he called us to let us know that he's doing fine via the phone conversation. But then a day later, on Christmas Day, he was killed in action in Iraq. we were not expected of this news from the two soldiers knocking at our door. Yeah, when we heard the news from the two Army officers knocking at our door to our house to deliver us the news, we were devastated, and we felt devastated. Yeah, crying and crying and crying all day and all night. We even felt like we lost the holidays too. His family and friends loved him so very much. What was great about Jae is that he always brings a smile to his face so brightly, and loved helping out others if and when they're in need. We will always remember him and never will forget him. It's like a shining star watching over us. He will be honored with his name engraved on this bridge. We expressed our deepest gratitude for the State Representative Joe Hogan, Tiffany O'Neill, and their team for working so hard to contribute this bridge organization event in this honor. We are thankful for such a meaningful ceremony for Jae. My family and I will always cherish this forever and ever. We also want to thank all of you for taking the time out of your schedules to attend this very memorable event. And once again, we thank you.
Thank you, Chris. So before we retire the colors, I'd like to make a few housekeeping announcements. We're going to be holding a reception at Veterans Park near the Middletown Township Public Works. Everyone is invited to that. If you cannot join us at the reception at Veterans Park, please take the shuttle from here from the church, or you can begin boarding here. You can tell I didn't write these remarks. The shuttle will continue making loops, and then we'll take anyone who needs a ride to the park. If you are driving directly to the park, please park in the Deepdale East neighborhood and walk to the reception. Again, everyone is invited to that, so please stop by. Mission Barbecue has donated some refreshments, and private donations from members in the community have also helped support that, so please stop by. But again, I want to thank you all for being a part of this, for the Moon family, and I want to, if there's anything else that I can do for you in any way, please let me know, please reach out. So thank you all again for being a part of this. And now, color guard, I would ask to retire the colors. Thank you again, everyone.